All right, so that actually was a clip from A Muppet's Christmas Carol, if you've ever watched that one, because this next book I have is based off of the classic story A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So I love that story. It's one of my favorite Christmas stories, and I found this book and I was so excited to read it because it's a spin off of that. It's called The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. Now, this story is, if we just recall A Christmas Carol, we've got Ebenezer Scrooge, who's just awful and greedy and treats people poorly, and he's visited by the three ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And if he doesn't change his ways, it's going to be bad for him. And luckily, by the end, he's able to see the error of his ways and he makes his change, right? For Christmas Day. Now, in this story, the main character is Holly Chase. And she's just like Scrooge in the fact that in the beginning of the story, you're like, man, she is mean to people. Like, she thinks she's better than people. She thinks money is the best thing ever. And that she just needs to have the right clothes and material things, and that relationships don't really matter to her. So she is visited by three ghosts. And instead of like Scrooge, she kind of learns from what they're telling her. She doesn't learn at all. And she's like, you know what? I think I'm fine the way I am. And I'm just going to keep going on with my life the way it is. But if you remember, the ghost of Christmas future is kind of telling Ebenezer, like, you're going to die if you continue the way you are. And that scares him. And it doesn't do anything for Holly. And she ends up dying in the beginning of the story. And after she dies, she goes into her afterlife. And that's where the bulk of the story is. She ends up working for a company called Project Scrooge in her afterlife. And what happens is she becomes the ghost of Christmas past, and that's her new job. She has to go, and every year they pick out a person that's just like Scrooge that needs to see the error of their ways and kind of be changed and influenced. And she doesn't really like the job. She like I said, she's very stubborn in her ways. And eventually, one year, they get the Scrooge that's going to change everything for her, make her see things in a new light. So go ahead and let me know if you'd be interested in reading this creative take on A Christmas Carol called The Afterlife of Holly Chase.